if you want to make enough money trading cryptocurrencies to buy a princess castle like that one day, I'm not a professional financial advisor, and this isn't professional advice. It's just entertainment. So you'll have to seek that elsewhere. So let's talk about exchanges real quick. Coinbase is probably the one that you've heard of, or if you haven't, it's one of the biggest, if not the most well-known, of the centralized exchanges. So this is going to be my recommendation as to where you start if you're looking to get an account and get on an exchange. It's absolutely Coinbase. Number one, they're a US company and they're actually insured. Not many of the exchanges, barely any of them, aside from the very big ones, have any sort of insurance for the coins that you actually keep on the centralized exchange. Don't quote me on it, but last time I checked, and you can verify this, is that Coinbase actually does insure your cryptocurrencies that you keep on their exchange. I believe it's up to $20,000. Again, don't quote me. Same thing with the USD or whatever currency, whether it's euros, British pounds, or any other currency that they accept. They do insure that. So again, double check me. Don't assume I'm right, but this is why I recommend Coinbase. The next reason is because it's really easy and nice to understand. So this actually went to my accounts page, and you can see here there's some deposits from NiceHash when I was using NiceHash early February or late February, and when I purchased bought the top actually at 11,600 of Bitcoin before it totally dumped and went down to 7,000. Now it's back up to 8,500. This is definitely not a price discussion. It's more of an overview of what an exchange actually looks like if you don't have a Coinbase account. I will put a link to the referral that comes from my account. So if you sign up and you buy $100 worth of cryptocurrency, you get $10. I get $10. Great. I can't think of any easier way to make a 10% return for doing nothing other than buying cryptocurrency. No, that doesn't protect you if Bitcoin drops $1,000 after you buy it, because that's inevitably what's going to happen. Happens to all of us. It's like an indoctrination, for buying cryptocurrency. Whatever you buy, it immediately goes down. So anyway, this is just a general overview of Coinbase. So if we take a look at the dashboard, which is what I really wanted to show you, you can tell that I'm a total whale here at $27.34. My portfolio, this was $16 of Ethereum, which is now down to $10.60. This was $10 of Bitcoin, which is now up since I last looked at it from $9. Hey, look, it went up to $9.74. And then I have $7 of USD in here. But be that as it may, just wanted you to have like a general idea of what you can expect and what you'd see when you're in Coinbase. Next, we're going to talk about how do I now send Bitcoin that I've purchased through Coinbase to an exchange. Maybe a different exchange. Maybe you want to send it to GDAX, which is the actual exchange portion of Coinbase. Or maybe you want to send it to Binance. Or maybe you want to get it to a decentralized exchange so you can buy an altcoin like Ravencoin. So yeah, next video. So now that you've got your Coinbase account, we need to create a Cryptobridge account. So you're going to go to cryptobridge.org. And the reason I'm in a incognito browser is so that it doesn't recognize me and immediately log me into my account at Cryptobridge. So we're going to create a new account. It's the first thing you see when you get to Cryptobridge. So create an account. Now, this is your private key. You need to keep this safe and you need to not share it with anybody. You need to make sure that your PC is not infected with a virus before you go here or any sort of screen recording software, kind of like I'm using right now. But you get the idea. So this password needs to be kept safe. It's your private key. So we're just going to say, example, please enter a regular name containing at least one dash, one number, and some sort of special character. And I apologize, my dog's barking. I guess it's just one of those days for her. So we've got our account name set up, example-2, and we've got our password that we've now physically written down, right? You wrote it on a piece of paper, so that's a safe way to keep your private keys, in addition to maybe using something like LastPass or Dashlane. But again, remember those are centralized services, and while they are both really good and highly secure, They can be hacked. I don't care what anybody says, they can be hacked. They can be compromised. So we're going to confirm this password. So I was just copying the password and confirming it. And now we've got our account name, password it generated for us, and we have to check off, I understand that I will lose access to my funds if I lose my password. You don't have to do that at Coinbase. I understand that no one can recover my password if I lose or forget it. Again, you don't have to do that at Coinbase. I have written down or otherwise stored my password. Don't have to do that at Coinbase. That's a big difference between a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange. And that's not to rag or, talk down about a decentralized exchange. I personally think that's going to be the way it's going to, a big piece of the future is going to be decentralized exchanges. They're just going to be a little bit more opaque to you and the end experience you have by using something like an app to be able to transfer funds between accounts or transfer funds to other people and be able to do atomic swaps and, not have to trust that third party if they're actually going to send you the money that long story short, let's keep going with what I'm talking about before I get off the rails again. So create account. Patience is a virtue when dealing with decentralized exchanges and just blockchain in general right now. Latency is actually not too bad. Failed to create account. Unknown error. Try and click create again. Okay, so now the account creation has gone through. Take note, it failed 3 times before this actually let me go through, and I had to change the actual number at the end of my example to 22234. So welcome to the Decentralized Exchange Cryptobridge. Create a backup. So if you forgot your password or clicked through those screens, you get a second chance here. If you forget your passphrase, you will be unable to access your account. We cannot reset or restore your password. Make sure you memorize or write down your password. And kudos to you if you can memorize this string. I can usually remember the last couple digits here so that I can quickly glance at it and make sure it's actually the right private key in most cases, or what I expect to see. But I can't remember that whole thing. Okay, take me to the dashboard. So now we're in the dashboard. So that gives us the ability to go to our account. We can send. We don't have anything to send from. We can go to the exchange and take a look at some coins, or we can deposit/withdraw. So that's account creation. Okay, so we're in the send tab. It gives you your account name. You can send to other accounts. So if you had multiple accounts for some reason, you can send between them. Not much else to see here, unless you had any sort of transactions sending between accounts. So let's go check out the deposit and withdraw area. So it's going to load the form below. So if you want to deposit anything or receive anything to your account, this is where you're going to do it. And again, you can see it takes a little while, so be patient with it. And now it's asking me for that password that we should have written down. So we're going to supply that password, and then we're going to log in. And funny thing, I didn't write that down because I was not expecting to keep this account. Thankfully, I still had that in my clipboard. So yeah, I got lucky. Don't do that. So it shows me my current balance of BCO coins. So this is the key. The first thing that shows up here is BCO coin. So if you're just looking at this and you're rushing because you want to buy some altcoin that happens to be on this exchange, slow down and make sure that you're paying attention to everything you see here. This is the meat and the potatoes of this particular exchange, is your deposit and your withdraw tab. So for us, we want to deposit Bitcoin from Coinbase to this account. How do we do that? Well, first we need a deposit address for Bitcoin. So we're going to select Bitcoin. It's going to load us a deposit address for your Bitcoin wallet on the Decentralized Cryptobridge exchange. This is normal. It takes a while. So that took a good 15 seconds for this actually to show up. And it didn't even give us an address. So what you can do is you can generate a new address. Okay, so it finally generated us an address after failing 3 times. again, it's not perfect, but if you want some obscure altcoin, which, to be honest, Ravencoin's an obscure altcoin at this point. Interesting project, but it's a very small coin at this point, and it just started early January. But this is the kind of links that you will need to go to if you're trying to buy some very obscure coin that's not on a major exchange. So BTC is selected. It's now given us an address that we can deposit BTC, again, Bitcoin only, not Bitcoin Cash, not any other cryptocurrency, Bitcoin only. Warning, deposits other than BTC will be lost and cannot be recovered. There is no recourse if you do things accidentally. It pays to be patient and methodical about everything you're doing in cryptocurrency right now. You have to understand the space is still very early from a retail investor or just retail small investor in general right now. So we've got this address, right? Great. If you want to generate a new one, you can just click Get New Address. Or if it fails on you like it did for us at first, click Get New Address. So now that we have this, we can copy this address, and we can put it in the Send To field at Coinbase. So let's do that. So I had to create a new account at Cryptobridge because the other account just wouldn't let me back in. So be that as it may, I'm actually kind of disappointed that this isn't my actual account name. Hello Kitty 123. Anyway, you see I've got Coinbase up and I've got a deposit address for BTC. So now we're going to go to accounts in Coinbase. We're going to send the Bitcoin to this address. So I copied that address from Cryptobridge. I'm now going to send the max amount of Bitcoin that I can to that Cryptobridge address. And we're going to continue. Before we move on, just a note about the fees. This isn't fees per se that Coinbase is charging. These are fees that come from sending a transaction across the Bitcoin network. These fees are paid to miners. You can see it just generated the hey, log in again. So we're going to copy the password that I created. We're going to log back in. And it locks your wallet if you're not paying attention to it for a certain amount of time. Okay, so now we see the address again. That's all good. A miner fee will be added for sends to BTC addresses. Miner fees do not go to Coinbase. To avoid miner fees, send to an email address. Now, if you're sending to an email address from my email address to your email address, say we both have Coinbase accounts, that doesn't go out across the miners network. That's just an annotation they make in Coinbase's database. It says, okay, Steve had X amount of Bitcoin and he wants to transfer it to Todd. So we're just going to adjust our database and say, okay, well, now Steve has this many less Bitcoin and Todd has this many more Bitcoin. So that's how you're avoiding miner fees because it's not actually going out across the Bitcoin network and being stored in the actual Bitcoin blockchain. So long story short, we're going to click continue. Now, the last screen that before you actually have to confirm this transaction and send it out across the Bitcoin network, you should need to enter a two-step verification code. And if you haven't enabled two-step verification on your Coinbase account, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do. It's one of the safest ways to use Coinbase and probably one of the few safeguards that you can actually do. Don't use text messages if you can avoid it. Use an authentication app such as Authy or Google Authenticator. Either of those two are fine to generate you a code, so that you have to provide two sets of verification. One, you log in. Two, you're going to get your authenticator code from the application. So it's asking us to confirm. Do we want to send this here? Yes, we do. What's the amount? Well, in this case, it's this many Bitcoins, which translates into $9.67 US. What's the Coinbase fee? $0. What's the miner fee? 757 Satoshis. What's a Satoshi? A Satoshi is 5 zeros followed by a number. You could say it's 1,000 Satoshis, but essentially it's a unit of measure in Bitcoin. It's one of the smallest units of measure that you can use in Bitcoin to describe that, 6 or 7 decimal places in. So this is 5 decimal places in. what's the total? This is the total Bitcoin that's going to be sent to this address. Again, spend some time, make sure this is right before you actually send it. So enter your authenticator code and confirm. Once you confirm that, the next thing that's going to happen is you have a transaction that's going to show up in Coinbase. So you can actually click on it, and these are my miners. That's what it's doing right now. I love Telegram. It's awesome. So what it's going to do is it's going to go out on the network, and then you have to wait for 3 confirmations. So you can see it right here. It will not show up in your wallet until you receive 3 confirmations on the Bitcoin network. So you're going to have to wait at least 10 minutes. That's the Bitcoin block time. If it's, if the network's really responsive and not clogged for some reason, it could be as quick as 10 minutes. It could be as long as 6 to 12 or maybe even 24 hours. 24 hours is extreme, but some people have had it happen to them. It's just something to be aware of. This is not something that is going to be quick for you, so just don't expect it to be quick, and don't do it under duress or like, I gotta buy this coin, it's going to the moon. Don't do that. Plan ahead and act accordingly. So now you've transferred your Bitcoin into Cryptobridge and you want to make a purchase. So that's the next thing that we'll do. Next thing I'll show you. So once you transferred BTC into your Cryptobridge address, into your Cryptobridge account, you can then decide which altcoin you're trying to buy, whether that's Raven or any of the other coins that they have listed here. And simply by clicking on that coin after you've gone to the exchange tab will get you to that particular coin. You can see here there's some price action way high, around 900 Satoshis back on the 27th of March. That was kind of in speculation of the white paper release and a little bit of a pump and dump, honestly. So a couple things about this. If you're into any sort of technical analysis, this chart is pretty terrible. You can't even get down to the actual additional decimal points here. So you can see that it's trading at 432 Satoshis. That's what it's selling for currently. People want to buy it for 431, so the spread's actually not too big today. Sometimes you'll see, 20 or 30 Satoshi spreads, or even sometimes 100 Satoshi spreads. And that's just because there's not much liquidity on here. So 24-hour volume of Raven is about 600 million Raven, traded for about 26 BTC. And there's wash trading that happens on here. Like it's the Wild West, man. It really is. So just be careful. Anyway, down to business. If you actually want to buy Ravencoin and you just want to buy it straight out of the order book, you can simply click on this side of the order book. These are the people that are selling Raven. So they want to sell 13,000 Raven for 0.05 BTC. I can't do that math in my head based off current prices. I don't know what it is. Same thing. If you wanted to buy more than 13,000, you'd have to then purchase this one, then select this one and buy it, and keep going down the list until you've filled your bag with however much Raven you want to keep. In the case of Raven, just because I'm familiar with the project, it's about 1,000 times less than Bitcoin was. It's a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain, but 1,000 times larger distribution. So they have, I think, 21 billion coins rather than 21 million. So yeah, that's how you would do it. Once you purchase those, they end up in your account, and then you can go to the withdrawal area to withdraw those coins. And I'll show you that too. All right, so my order got filled for the Raven that I was purchasing for Bitcoin. So I was selling Bitcoin to have somebody buy my Bitcoin from me with Raven. That got filled. My open orders don't exist anymore. So if we go to the account, we can now see the balances. I may or may not show this, but I don't see any reason not to. Anyway, what we're going to do now, now that I've got my 14,000 Raven, roughly, we're going to withdraw that. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to decide whether withdrawal and what coin. And we're going to scroll down to Raven, RVN. So it's asking me to unlock your wallet account in order to see this memo. So if we withdraw now, it's going to ask us to withdraw to a specific address. I've withdrawn to this address before. So I'm going to keep this address, and what I'm going to do is take all of the Raven, except for one, because I can't take everything without it. It's going to take a fee. So it's decentralized exchange. No, 89 does not come before 70. So 69, 14,969. Yep, that's right. So we're going to withdraw to this address, which I've done before, so I know it's good. But I'm going to leave one Raven on there to cover the fees. The gateway fee here is 0.01 Raven. The blockchain withdrawal fee is 0.3576. I'm still going to do a little bit more buying, so I will try to rescue all the Raven coins that I possibly can. But it's another good point to mention is that what they call that is like crypto dust. So you end up with like 0.000, like lowest possible fraction of the number for the coin on the exchange. And there's really no way to trade it. It's not enough to buy anything with or even speculate on. I've heard some decent ideas as to what to do with that. The exchanges would have to kind of create like some way to like donate that to a charity. I think that'd be pretty cool. The reason I'm not looking at you is because I am getting my private key, which is essential to withdraw money from the decentralized exchange, which I'm not going to share it with you. I apologize, but I like my money and I hope you like yours too. So please always be careful with your private keys. So it's confirming my transfer. Please confirm the transaction from my account name to Cryptobridge, which is kind of strange, but I guess that's where you're sending the withdrawal request and the quantity. And we're just going to triple check my Ravencoin wallet here and confirm that that is indeed the address, which it is. I can confirm those last four there. Awesome. So we're going to confirm that. And then what we should see is a confirmation. Yep, transaction confirmed. And if we click that, will it actually give me details? No. So what it does here is it actually gives you a countdown timer, right? So it's saying you have 11 blocks pending before this action actually goes through, or this request goes through. And we'll wait the 4 seconds. I don't think it'll be that fast, but it might be. So now, and a few more seconds have passed. And what I should see is eventually a Windows message telling me that I actually received the Raven. And this is always like the hard part for me, is like just waiting, worrying, did it actually work? Like, is this actually going to go through? And sure enough, awesome. So it's really being nice and cooperating with us. So this is the Raven incoming transaction, and I can see that the balance of Raven that came in is exactly what I pulled off the exchange. Very cool. So that's how to withdraw money or withdraw Raven from the Cryptobridge exchange.